Well, hey everybody, it's 3 p.m. and it's time for dinner with Nanny Bubby. And boy, I think I'm a minute early and I'm so glad that I am because yesterday, during our cooking confidence coaching class with the amazing Lindsay Bernay, we had so many technical difficulties. We were 17 minutes late to hit the air. And I really want to tell you this. Here, I'm getting this ready to cook for all of you. I really want to tell you, hey, Teresa, nice to have you here, that this show has been airing on Facebook now every day or Monday through Friday anyway for almost 11 months now. And never in the history of those 11 months have I ever been more than 1 or 2 minutes late. And so yesterday, especially since Lindsay was so nervous about exposing her heart and how she felt about cooking to a live audience, she was filled with anxiety, and it just seemed like everything that could go wrong yesterday went wrong. We ended up on Marla Letitia's page instead of Nanny Bubby page, which is, obviously my personal page. And so we were 17 minutes late. So today I wanted to start actually right on time, of course, because I do all the time. It's amazing to think that this show has been live for almost 11 months, and we've never been late until yesterday. So thank you, guys. So I need to get some tongs. Let me tell you what we're making today. Although you probably saw, we are making, once again, I've gotten lots of alerts on Teresa that Teresa is here. Brenda Kramer is here. Hey, Brenda. How are you? So I am making the braised chicken thighs, which I have made for all of you before, but I changed the recipe, so I never posted the recipe before. Hey, Heather Glassman, nice to see you. I never posted the recipe in the last time I made it because there were some changes that I needed to make. So I'm going to get these in the pan and turn up the heat. We're going to render the fat out of all of this. Hey, Bobby Robbins, render all of the fat out of these chicken thighs, and I'm going to make them with the amazing tomatillos, which literally, if you've ever seen this, you pull the husk off, just like you pull husk right off of corn. We're gonna, I guess I'm gonna do that now while this is rendering. Hello, Brenda Mills. So how much did you guys, I got so many people who had reached out and said that they absolutely love the Cooking Confidence coaching call yesterday with Lindsay. It was really quite amazing, and kudos to her, right? Yeah, kudos to her for being willing to expose the emotions that she has about wanting to cook for her family and her inability to do it. And so that's what I'm here to do. I am here to help anybody get to their next level. And that next level may not be totally in the dark. It could be that you're great, but you don't know how to do appetizers. It could be that you're a great baker, but you don't know how to do other things that you wish you could. So, hey, Roseanne. So Roseanne is here, and speaking of which, by the way, these husks and the tomatillos are very sticky. My hands are now very sticky. So I'm going to just give my hands a quick rinse. So give me 1 minute, but you can still hear me. So Roseanne is here. And Roseanne posted this amazing consumer report on leaving food and what foods are good and what their best buy dates are. And what is interesting about that, sorry, I'm back. What is interesting about the fact that she posted that today is, as you all know, you've heard me talking about the Happy Fridge for a while since the Happy Spice cabinet came out. And about 2 weeks ago, I actually spent about 5 hours on a Sunday putting together that Happy Fridge email document that if you're all on our email list, you will get it in our newsletter. But the Happy Fridge is actually almost ready to publish. If not by Thursday, then possibly by next week for sure. It's just been such a long, I never expected it. Hey, Frank Solly, and hi there, Don Winterman. And it's been such a long document. I never expected it, but I'm so proud of this document. And the reason I bring it up with regards to Roseanne is that there are several things that I posted in that newsletter document, The Happy Fridge, that talk about expiration dates. And the fact is that the expiration date posted on anything is not does not mean the expiration once it's open. So you might have a can of chicken stock, as an example, that says 2023 on it, but you opened it today in 2021. So you think, well, I've got till 2023 to use it up. But once it's open, those expiration dates or toss out dates all change. And so what I did in this document is listed things in 3 different categorical ways. So you can have a shopping list for all the things that you need in your fridge, so that you can post a date on the document that you put, as an example, butter, your butter out of the freezer and into the fridge, or from the store into the fridge. You could put the date on this document and hang it on the wall in your kitchen, or hang it in the pantry, and then you'll be able to be sure to stay on top of it. So these are browning nicely. We're making chicken thighs. Today you could use chicken breast if you don't like dark meat. Many people do not like dark meat. I'm going to turn this up. I love that I matched my pot today. Is everybody noticing that I actually matched my pot today? So let's see. A couple people have signed on, and I need to move the phone closer so that I can see what you said. Brigitte, or Sophia Song, you look beautiful. I love how you match your top with that pretty pot. That's so funny because I just said that. Roseanne says that sounds amazing and so very helpful. Can't wait to get it. Thanks so much, Marla. Well, you're, of course, welcome, but thank you for posting that and Gather with Nanny Bubby. And Dawn Winderman said, hi, Marla, running errands. We'll be missing the live show today, but we'll watch it later. That's very nice. Thank you so much. So you will all be getting your Happy Fridge. We'll post it in Gather. We'll post it on the Nanny Bubby page. I will post it in Instagram. It's a free download from me to you. We'll repost Happy Spice Cabinet in case you haven't gotten it. I also want to say this. I am 28 people, 28 likes away from going over 2,000 people who've liked the Nanny Bubby page. And why that's important to you more than it is to me is that I am told that Facebook algorithms will start showing the fact that I'm on live, and I know you've all complained that you don't get the alerts. And so I'm told that once we get over 2,000, those alerts are more predictable. They're more, they happen. Let's put it that way, they happen. So as these are browning, and we'll just take the time to let them do that. There's so much to tell you today. So I put roasted garlic, olive oil into this pot in order to start these chicken thighs. Brenda Mills says that she gets a notification every day. But you know, Brenda, so many other people don't. They actually have to set their alarm to get a notification. So I'm told that once we get over that 2,000 mark, that anybody who's liked the page will get notification. So that's that. I also rubbed the skin of these thighs with just regular olive oil. And I did that so that, there we go. I did that so that the salt and pepper would adhere nicely to it, give that skin a little bit of crispiness. We're going to put a jalapeno into this. We're going to chop up these tomatillos, which I just peeled for everybody, and we've got garlic as well. So before I get ready to flip these over, so anybody have any comments about yesterday's Cooking Confidence coaching call with Lindsay? And my phone was blowing up all night long about how much so many people really appreciated and felt her pain yesterday, especially when she started to cry. And I mean, I was just about crying before we hit the air just because I was 17 minutes late. And in the almost 11 months I've been doing this show, I've been late by 2 minutes twice. And I was going literally out of my mind, but it all worked out. It always works out, right? I always say to myself, pause, take a breath. No matter what happens, it always works out. And by the way, hi, Celia. Nice of you to join us today. Celia Mace is here. So everybody say hi to Celia. I feel like Celia has not been here before. So everybody that's watching, type a hi, Celia. Nice to have you here. That's great. Um, there we go. So look at how nice. Oh, wow. Splatter right in my eye. Whew. Sorry about that, Flint. That's what happens when chicken fat renders. Anyway, we get a nice brown um, on here. Whoa, this is really splattering. I'm going to have to get a little splatter guard here. Hold on. These are browning very, very nicely, I'm happy to say. So let's turn this around a little. There we go. Let's turn this the other way. And now I'm going to turn my back to you for just a minute out of safety to get a splatter guard. So give me just 1 minute, please. I see Jennifer Tuttle popped in right before I turned my back. So this is kind of cool. This is a splatter guard, but this pops out so it makes it easy to store. So there we go. Wow, that really took me by surprise. Jennifer said, you missed yesterday, Cooking with Confidence, darn it. Well, it's posted, so if you want to watch, I think one of the most amazing moments is that Lindsay started to break down and cry. I asked her, tell me what you want your daughter to smell when she walks through the door after school. And yes, it is Celia May. And she just broke down and started crying. And we dove deep into what that was and why that touched her, that question touched her the way that it did. And so it was really, really quite lovely. It was really lovely to have that experience and to help her break through whatever it was that is holding her back. So, pardon me, I get thirsty when I do all this talking. Part of what her issue is that she is just a dynamic businesswoman. And she feels her dynamicness, if that's a word, when she's doing what she was trained to do, what she loves to do. But when she's in the kitchen and she needs to be there for her family, she wants them to see her in the way that her customers see her. And she just gets very insecure about it, and that's why she broke down and started crying. So Lucy in Sulaco is here, who is just bought a new home. I saw on Facebook. Celia is your cousin-in-law, so good to see her. I'm sure she's a member of Gather. So I just wanted to actually repeat, just because I'm excited, that we need, hey, Cynthia Berman, you're in Malibu. This Cynthia Berman is all over the state over there, from San Diego to Malibu to, oh my God, I can't think of the word of the fabulous city where all the boats are up in San Francisco in the Bay. What's the name of that fabulous city? I used to work as a cocktail waitress in that city, believe it or not. So there we go. All these are getting nice and brown. We're going to let this keep cooking, and then we are going to pour off the fat. So Cynthia said, from Malibu, it's beautiful. I'm sure it is. Easter Heart Out, Las Vegas. William Swimmer is here. Hey, William. Everybody say hi to William. I feel like William is brand new. So we are just waiting for these chicken thighs to get nice and brown. We're going to take them out. Thank you, Lucy. We're going to pour off some of the fat. And then we are going to start putting in the other ingredients, which include the onions, which I put on boy, I can't think of the word of that either today, on a mandolin, and sausalito, and on a mandolin to make nice and thin. I crushed some garlic. I have 4 cups of chicken stock, and I have a jalapeno. So this is what I want to ask all of you. I'm going to ask all of you this question. I need you all to give me an answer. If I ask you, and I'm going to, this is the question, what is the difference between chicken broth and chicken stock and bone broth? So type for me, tell me. This is very interesting. I was in bed all day Friday with, if it's not COVID and you're dying, you have something else, but you're so worried about it being COVID that it's not pleasant. But while I was in bed, I was watching the masterclass by Thomas Keller, and he went over these differences between chicken broth, chicken stock, and bone broth. And I'm very interested because these are buzz marketing words. And I'm very interested to know how many of you can actually type for me what you think the differences are between those three things. And while you're doing that, I'm just going to look at this one more time. There we go. See if we've got any browning on the bottom. We do. So these are not supposed to cook all the way through. I'm going to turn this off just a minute, and I'm going to take this camera here, and I'm going to tip it down so that you can actually see into this pot. And what I'm going to do is take these out. You can smell the garlic olive oil that I use. And see how, look at how beautiful and crispy that is. Isn't that gorgeous? There we go. This is truly one of my favorite recipes. But when I cooked it the first time, which I looked was back in March, when I cooked it the first time, there was something not right, and there was something very much missing in how I made it and what the recipe was telling me to do. And so what I really wanted to do was try to get this recipe all perfected before I published it. It is in Gather already. It should already be up in Gather. And there we go. So we're going to take these and set them off and let them rest. There we go. Let's see if you can see those. Let me just turn this. I don't want to get over this hot, fat pot. There we go. And let's see. Can you see those? Can you see that? I'm not sure you can. Let's see if I get you a better shot of all this. I cannot. Let's see. Not sure why I can't, but there we go. How's that? That did it, right? That's better. Okay, now the trick, now that you've seen the chicken thighs, now what I've got to do is bring you back to me. Let's see, transfer chicken to a plate, leave all the fat and golden bits behind. And now we're going to add the smashed garlic. So let me bring you back to my world here. There we go. How's that? Okay, Lucy said, okay, so Christina Rubino. Hey there, Christina. Let's see if anybody answered before Christina. Christina said, stock is just bones and veggies and aromatics. I love that word, aromatics. And includes meat. Bone broth simmers for about 24 to 48 hours. And that is the key. And Lucy said, I think broth is only the liquid water and rendering from the chicken. Stock includes veggies and more seasoning. Let's see. And bone broth is made from beef bones. Roseanne said, broth made from the meat, stock is made from the bones. And that, in a simple way, which is really what Christina and Lucy both said, is that stock and what is called bone broth are all made from the bones and the aromatics, as Christina said, vegetables, but it's mostly from the bones and the water. In particularly, I hate to say it because I have not been able to bring myself there yet, but in particularly from the feet of the chicken as an example, and anywhere that there are tendons. Now, when I make chicken bone broth, I will have the butcher slice the brown meat bones, so the leg bones and the thigh bones, in half vertically so that the marrow comes out of those bones and causes it to become more gelatinized. But chicken broth is actually made from, as I make it, from, it's chicken soup. I make it from a whole chicken. I make it from vegetables. I have the aromatics in there. I have seasoning in there. And all of that goes into the stock or the bone broth as well. But that's the main difference, is that one really is made, and there's no difference, and there should be no difference. It's just a marketing term between stock and bone broth. It's actually the same thing. Okay. So into this goes the garlic and half the onions. I'm going to put half the onions in first. I'm going to turn this back on, and I'm going to put in all of the garlic. I have my happy recipe here. So everything is happy in this household. I have to tell you, my little doggy Biggie, he he's just a mutt. He's mostly Bichon, a little bit of Schnauzer, um, Yorkshire Terrier. They say that there's Irish setter in him, but you know, I keep looking at him every day and say, "Where's that Irish setter in you?" You would never know it. Um, and he's had cancer, and we have to take such care of him. He takes chemo every other day, and we've been able to keep him alive already pretty happily for an extra 2 years. His rear right leg has been, not leg, but foot, has been amputated. Um, but he is not lame. They did such a good job with the surgery. He's not lame on that foot, but he does have trouble, walking. He now has arthritis, and all the other rest of his legs are not doing so well. So that being said, I have to take him to the doctor every 90 days, and we put him on a drug called gabapentin 90 days ago because his good leg in the rear got bad and started swelling, and he was really having a terrible time. And we put him on that medication. Well, he had a reaction to the medication, and we thought he was like going to go on us, and all we did was take him off that medication. He sprung back to life. So he's the dog with 9 lives. But my point is, I took him to the doctor today for his checkup to get more of his chemo, and the doctor called me and goes, "Marla, Biggie's doing great. He's sprung back. He's doing super. I'm so happy for you. I'm happy for Biggie. We're just going to keep him on his chemo, and we'll see you back in 90 days. And that'll be $1,030, please." And I'm like, oh my God, this little dog that, cost us nothing. I cannot begin to tell you the money that we have spent on this dog over the last 2 years. This free dog. We could have bought 5 golden, hybrid winners of the dog breed show we could have bought a racehorse for the kind of money we're putting into this dog. But I'm telling you, we love him so much, we wouldn't have it any other way. But Tom came downstairs. He goes, "How's Biggie?" I go, "Oh, he's doing great." And I told him just the way I told you guys. Doctor said it was just fabulous. His x-rays are good. His ultrasound was good. His blood work is good. They checked everything from top to bottom on Biggie, and he was great. And Tom says, "Oh, I'm so happy to hear that." And I said, "Yes." And then the doctor said it was $1,030. Thank you very much. He goes, "Oh my God." So anyway, that was our big laugh for the day. That was our big laugh for the day. Okay, so can you see these onions? Yes, definitely part of the family, Teresa, just like our kids, just like each other, right? I mean, he has been here for all of our happy times and certainly cuddled us during some sad times. So absolutely nothing like it. Okay, so we put the garlic in, we put the onions in. And what we're going to do next is we're going to season this with salt and pepper, stirring occasionally. So here's some salt. And this helps season the onions and the garlic as they sweat. We do not want the garlic to burn, so we have to be very, very careful. Almost time for me to grind some more pepper. So, all out. And we're going to just turn this around, and then we are going to move on to the very next thing. Wow. Okay, so let me turn that off. We're going to let it sweat a bit. I'm going to put that back on. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this right here for all of you. So what I'm going to do is because this can go into the dishwasher, I'm going to cut the jalapeno on this. That way there's no remnants left over from the seeds. I won't get my hands dirty from the oils and touch my eyes, or when the baby comes over, touch his eyes or her eyes. Liv is coming, Harmony is coming around 4. How many of you really enjoyed that segment with Harmony? I absolutely loved every minute of it. She was so cute and so knowledgeable, and it was so fun interviewing my own daughter. So speaking of which, the Cooking Confidence Coaching video lives on Instagram. And so if you'd like to actually, or you know anybody who might be interested in taking that class, they can find the video on Instagram, and then they can book a discovery call with me. Discovery call means, Marla, tell me what this is, tell me what you're going to do with it, tell me, how we're going to work together, and then they can decide whether they want to sign up for the coaching series or not. It's one-on-one, it's VIP, and I'm actually thinking about putting together a bigger course for more people, maybe 10 people at a time, maybe 10 people that know each other, I don't know. But here's what I would like to know. I'd like to find out, what is everybody's pain point in the kitchen? What is, if you will type it in the chat, and I'm going to post something that actually asks that question, what is your pain point in the kitchen? And when I determine what those answers are, I'm going to be able to submit a course to everybody that, I really believe that just about everybody has the same pain point, no matter what your level is. I mean, whether it's what's your pain point when you go grocery shopping, what's your pain point when you have to go to a party? Do you know what I mean? It's like we all kind of, it culturally shares very much, like 80% of us share the same pain points. And so if I can find those, then I can really help everybody, both on this show and even in a course design, curriculum, which I don't design curriculum here. So you wish that you had the smell vision. I know. Let me tell you, this gets better and better because these jalapenos are just amazing. So when you put the jalapenos with the tomatillos, the onions and the garlic, and then we're going to put 4 cups of chicken stock, not chicken broth. I always use stock because I like the richness of it. I think it's better. I do make my own stock. And pretty soon as it gets cold, I'm going to be making, soups and chilies and things to have on hand. Shakshuka is going to make it back up on the menu again. But I find that it's very hard to make. I have like a 64-quart pot, and by the time I drain it and by the time I go through all that, I have so little left over that I actually want to put it in the freezer for soup, for when everybody gets sick in the winter in the family. I go running over with quarts of chicken stock, or chicken soup, good old-fashioned Jewish chicken soup. Okay, so there we go. So what we're going to do now is let me look at this. Add the tomatillos, half the jalapeno. So I'm going to put half of the jalapeno in. And now, because I wanted to show you how I husked, which was so easy, the tomatillos, I am going to chop those up right now. But for those, I'm going to do them right here on the cutting board. So let's come back. I have a lime also. The lime we're going to squeeze on at the very end. So let me put this lime over here. And for the tomatillos, which are really just basically like little green tomatoes, and we're just going to slice them and then chop them. And they're so they have the texture of an apple, which is nice. It makes them so much easier. There's not very many seeds in them. So you can take these and just kind of chop them up like this. There we go. And they're going to be cooking for quite a bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I can take my gloves off now that the jalapeno's gone. But I always find when I'm chopping fast, it's always much better to have these little gloves on, because if you catch the glove, it actually keeps from cutting you. And I have found that to be an advantage over my time in the kitchen here lately. So here we go. So, and what's nice about these is that they're very easy to chop, really, just because the texture is like an apple. Very easy to cut through, and yet not too soft like a tomato. So we've got 3 more right here to do. Lucy says, consistent seasoning. Often my recipe tastes a little different each time I make something like sauces. Well, I mean, it does taste a little different. And sometimes that happens, especially if you cook from memory, right? Like if you're cooking, that's why even with my own recipes that I write, invariably, certainly when I'm cooking for all of you, I get a little bit nervous. Like I need to be talking to you. I need to be manning the camera. I need to be doing a lot of different things. And if I'm not careful, I will forget something. And that's why I always double check myself while looking at the recipe. So anyway, that's why sometimes, Lucy, I think that especially if you're not cooking exactly, maybe sometimes you have a little bit too much of this or a little bit too little of that. And you think, oh, it won't matter. And it doesn't matter. It just changes that flavor just a little bit. So, okay, I'm running out of a little bit of room here. So let me get these tomatillos in. I just love the way this looks. Let me turn up the fire here. Here we go. And into the pot with the tomatillos. And in just a minute, I'm going to bring you over there with me. Show you that. Let me just turn you. Pain points are deciding what to make each night, whether for quick dinners or more involved meals, especially when let me see what else you said, especially when and I can't get to it with the gloves on, so let me get these off. And she says, especially when oh, my hand is wet. I can't see what else you wrote. Oh, especially when I'm not hungry. Also clean up. Yeah, well, clean up for sure. But I really have to tell you, one thing about Tom is that, and this started years and years ago, is I would always say, look, I don't mind cooking, but I came home from work today and started cooking. You can come home from work and start cleaning up, right? And I just kept putting that in his head over and over. And, you know, after 42 years, he got the message. So I also think that today's day and age, we're all very open and honest about everything being a team effort, right? Cleaning is a team effort. Cooking should definitely be a team effort. I mean, yesterday we talked about how in the preparation of food, it helps your digestive system, the smells and the aromas, help the digestive system ready itself for what's coming. And that way you don't get indigestion. You get indigestion not only from sometimes what you eat, but how quickly you eat it. And by quickly, I mean, if you go through a drive-through and your digestive system wasn't smelling aromas and wasn't able to ready itself for the food that you're putting inside of it, well then, of course, you're going to have a level of indigestion. So let's see, Jennifer said, lack of confidence, stopped cooking years ago, but I would love to cook for others again. Well, let me tell you, and that's it. And it's more fun to cook with someone than cook alone. And so that is really what I want to do. Had this long conversation, and Harmony brought it up. I mean, for years I've been wanting Harmony when I entertain and when I do things. I've been wanting Harmony to come and, you know, for Thanksgiving or for the birthdays or for this, that, and the other and everything else, if she would come and she would participate in all of this. And she wasn't actually really interested in it. And I really didn't know how to make that happen. But after the show, and if you guys remember that she had talked about this podcast that she had listened to, I said to her, I go, you know what, Connor's birthday, that's her husband, is coming up on the 27th. And what if you and Liv and I got together on the Sunday before his birthday and literally together, 3 generations put together his birthday dinner? And I really have to say, because of all of you and the fact that I'm here and because of her and the way that it all unfolded and the fact that she had listened to that podcast just days or just hours before she was here cooking with all of us, it actually resonated with her. And so I was really, really happy about that. Very happy about that. So, okay, let's see what time it is. Oh, we're good on time. All right. So, Hey there, Judy Woods. So nice to see you. I have to say, I know most of you already read Love in a Tuscan Kitchen. I am muddling my way through it. By muddling, I just mean I'm able to get like 2 or 3 pages a night done. But I really have to say that her visualization and conversation about Tuscany and the scenes she describes in those little villages and everything else are just so delicious and so beautiful. And I'm just absolutely enjoying it so much. We're going to add the chicken stock, and then we're going to bring it to a simmer. So this is 4 cups of chicken stock. I'm going to add it very slowly. There we go. And we're going to bring it to a simmer. And once it comes to a simmer, then we are going to put the chicken back in. At least that's what I think. Let me check and see. So Cynthia, it would be a great summer vacation read for sure. It would be a great read on an airplane. It would be a great read for all of that. When I was on summer vacation, had the whole family with me. So the last thing in the world I did while I was on vacation was sit and read. But when we go to Laguna next time, which is sometime, I don't remember when it is, sometime in September, we're going to be relaxing there, and I'm going to literally lay on the patio where it's nice and cool and read. Okay, turning this up, Roseanne says she doesn't have a pain point, but as I think about it, my pain point is coming up with an appropriate side dish. That's interesting. I'm trying to see more, but my hands are, yeah, for the main dish. Well, I get what you're saying. Sometimes my side dishes are a little bit too rich for how rich my main course is. So I tend to throw everything I've got into the main course and let me do just like with as much passion and excitement I want for the side dish. And so what ends up happening is, yes, on its own, that side dish would have been great if I was just serving it with a simple salmon, right? But the very fact that I'm serving it with something really like intense and very rich, it's actually too much. Yeah, exactly. So actually, I'm going to be doing the Bernaise sauce again tomorrow because it failed miserably, as you all know. And I want to, so let's see, Cynthia Berman says pain point, cooking for someone who is a much better cook. Talk about insecurity. Well, that's interesting. I bet that's true. I bet that's kind of true. I guess if in a garden, I should be so lucky, was at my dinner table, I think I would have tremendous anxiety, right? Or I should be so lucky. I would love to have that kind of anxiety. One day I'm going to win like a silent auction where I bid on her coming to my home and cooking for me. I'm praying for that. But anyway, so I'm making the Bernaise sauce again tomorrow. That's going to be on the list. It turned out terrible. Turning this up a little more. Turned out terrible when I made it last time. I think it was the olive oil was just too bitter, and it just really ruined the Bernaise sauce. And it wasn't really a sauce. The recipe was more of a dipping mayo. It was a very light mayo as opposed to a sauce. So the olive oil emulsified and turned it more into a Bernaise sauce or Bernaise mayo. So I'm going to try it again tomorrow with the proper olive oil. I'm going to be olive oil tasting to decide which olive oil I want to go in it. I also have avocado oil. So the original recipe called for a cup of canola oil and a half cup of olive. And you know how I feel about canola oil. So I'm going to use the avocado oil. I'm going to taste my olive oils to see which tastes, better, which not. And I'm going to try it again tomorrow. If it fails again tomorrow, then I am going to move to a traditional Bernaise sauce. But in the meanwhile, I have been testing for my son's birthday, which is September 9th. I have been cooking all kinds of things, experimenting, revising recipes for his big night where he's going to be 38 years old, if you can imagine. And hey, Arlene, so nice to see you. You have not been here in a while. And how about a Rosh Hashanah dessert? Okay, how about, well, what are you thinking? Chocolate, apple? What are you thinking? And I'll come up with something. I know I can. What do you like? What does the family like? So for his birthday, actually, I am doing a lamb osso buco, which I've already tested. I was a little light on the seasoning, and the sauce for the ossobuco did not have as much flavor as it should. I think it's going to need a little more salt, a little pepper, and a little bit of red chili pepper flakes. Apple cake. Okay, I'll look up an apple cake. I'll get busy and experiment. And when should I do that? How about Monday? I'll make an apple cake on Monday. How's that sound? I think, well, 2 weeks from Monday, or 2 weeks from last Monday will be Rosh Hashanah night, and yeah, I'll make an apple cake. Actually, before that, you need it before that, right? So I'll make it sometime early next week. So, needless to say, I am doing. He loves to look at recipes. He reads recipes. He loves Giada. He goes frequently to Giada's recipes, and he picked out from salad to shrimp appetizer to the ossobuco, and then 2 vegetable side dishes. And I'm bringing this up, Roseanne, for you, because the vegetable side dish that he found was a broccoli and a carrot. Carrots with honey, and and a broccoli which had a panko crust on it and was roasted and really delicious. And I'm going to test both of those Giada recipes on Thursday for all of you. And then I asked him if he would like to make and be on the show with me, and he kind of said that he'd like to make a martini for everybody. So if I can convince him to do that next week also, that would be super. So this is kind of slow coming to a boil here. I'm going to turn it up one more time. Let's get this to a simmer. It's almost there. And then basically we are going to place these back, and we're going to simmer this uncovered. We're going to bring this to a simmer, and then we're going to add the chicken back in, which I'm happy to do. There we go. And then we're going to let it simmer for about 30 minutes until it's completely done. So it should be simmering any minute. Here we go. So you'll see how beautiful this is. The chicken is just not completely covered. The simmer is going to reduce the juices, which is amazing. Here we go. All back in. I am going to take the rest of these jalapenos and I'm going to put them in right over the top. I'm going to give this a squeeze of, actually, a squeeze of lime. I'll bring this one over here. Squeeze of lime. Just to add, remember that we're always working with salt, heat, acid, or fat. Yay, martini. Yes, he loves martinis. He's a Grey Goose fan. So I think this always needed a little bit of acid. I think the jalapenos definitely give it the heat, but the acid that we need actually is the lime. So I put a little bit in now, and then I'm going to finish with the lime. Okay, that's it for today. Let me tilt this down. Let me, like a little teapot, short and stout. Let me tip you over and show you what we've got here. How's that look? There we go. So this is just going to simmer away. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit now that it's simmering on high. And that's it for today. Sorry about that. I got a telemarketing call. So anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Once again, I just want to tell you that if you're interested or you know somebody who could use a cooking confidence coach, go over to Instagram, check out the video over there, and you can book a discovery call with me through the link in my bio. I also, again, the Happy Fridge is about to come out. I want to welcome everybody that has just gone in to gather. Can't remember who just brought in 28 new people, but I think it was Judy, as a matter of fact, Judy Wood. So thank you so much for that. We need 28 more people to like Nanny Bubby Facebook page where these shows are every day. So if you can invite a few of your friends to like the page, we're almost there. It's going to be a big celebration when we get there. And let's see if the algorithms actually make alerts come back out and notifications come out a lot faster. So that's it for me today. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, go out and spread love like butter. Thanks, everybody. Bye.